Hey guys, welcome back. We are here inside of Islands of Adventure. A couple weeks ago, we did a video on how to get away from the crowds or places to get away from the crowds over in Universal Studios, and we got a lot of really good feedback on that.
Yeah, y'all were so sweet talking about how helpful that was, knowing the places to avoid some people, and we also had a lot of requests asking to do the same thing in Islands of Adventure. So in today's video, we're going to show you some places that you can get away from all the people over here in IOA.
Let the adventure begin. Sort of like hide and seek in Islands of Adventure. Yeah, hide and seek in Islands of Adventure.
Bernie Nomad, you're
Anna.
Anna. She had to think about it.
Yeah, keep forgetting.
Anna. Yeah, that's me.
I had to remember.
That's all right. You know, you get confused out here.
The first place we're going to talk about is actually once you get to the end of the entrance. We usually talk about either going left or right, but if you just go straight, you'll find our first little hidden gem.
So actually, you can't go straight right now because this little thing here is, I guess this is for Grad Bash. Like Grad Bash has been going on last few weekends, but you can go like right straight.
This is a great area to get away from people because nobody really knows that it exists. This is technically a smoking area, but
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, there's nobody down here smoking right now, and we come down here sometimes to record because it's fairly quiet, and we
Relatively.
almost never see anybody, and especially anybody smoking, so this is a nice place. And there's also some shady areas where you can sit down as well, and a lot of the places that we talked about in Universal Studios, they were quiet, but they were in direct sunlight, and we are right now, but there's a lot of trees and things like that.
Yeah, so, and I did want to mention that, like, she said it was quiet. It's quiet most of the time, as you can see, like, right there. That's the Hulk, and it's about to go,
Here it
and I'll
goes.
just give you a little hint. But, like, no matter where you're at, the Hulk is, like, always loud, but when you're this close to it, like, the Hulk can be extremely loud. Like, people screaming on it, the music playing. You gotta love the music, but it's never quiet. So one of my favorite things about this area is, yeah, it's a cool place to get away, but the views, like, especially at sunset, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love seeing the Velocicoaster out over the lake and everything, and it's just a great place to hang out, get some pictures. Like, we get Instagram pictures here quite a bit.
Yeah, it's really cool because if you look like around the lagoon, you can literally see every land.
Yeah.
Like we can see Seuss, we can see the castle, Velocicoaster. If you just want to sit here and watch people go over that top hat over and over again,
Where's Kong? You can't see Skull Island.
You can see some of the mountains in the background. So
You
can
cheater.
You can see a little bit of it. Actually, after looking a little bit harder, I think what I was looking at is just some of the rocks from Velocicoaster. So I guess Tyler is technically right. You can't see Kong, but it's only sort of a land here anyway.
Like we said earlier, when you get to this junction, you either go left or right. Now that we've gone straight, which way are we going this time? Because I'll be honest, I don't know what's the next one is. Like,
So I think we should head right towards Seuss
Okay.
Landing, and then we'll just make our way around the loop because there's a place in almost every land.
perfect. As we're headed into Lost Continent, there isn't really anywhere that we have found to get away from the crowds over in Seuss Landing.
Yeah.
There might be like a few areas that are like less. I guess you could get on one fish, two fish. Like that would probably take care of it. But the first place is actually just right here behind Mythos.
Tyler said this is the first place. This is actually the second because we already went.
Whatever.
But anyway, this is back behind the Mythos restaurant, and similar to the first place that we went, part of this area is also a smoking area, but not all of it is. If you keep walking across the bridge, you get to the part that isn't, and then if you continue to walk, you'll find some seats that are actually part of the Mythos restaurant because you can sit outside when you're over there. But another thing that this has in common with that first little place that we talked about is the views. And this is something that a lot of these places and islands have in common because Islands is just an absolutely gorgeous park. I mean, check this out behind me. You can see Velocicoaster, Hulk, you name it. Another thing that sets this location apart from the others is that it has all of these nice rock formations that you can sit down on. Now, you're not supposed to like crawl all over them, but the ones like this one that look like a bench, they're perfectly fine to sit down on. I also wanted to mention, I talked about walking across a bridge. don't be like me and get terrified when you're walking across the bridge. We did it at night on our last trip, and I heard this awful sound that sounded like somebody like growling or being drowned. I don't know. It was terrible. And I asked Tyler about it, and apparently there's a troll that lives under the bridge. So if you hear that terrible, like creepy sound, it's just the troll.
To be more specific about how to get there, I know I said it was right before Mythos, but here's the Mythos waterfall. This is Mythos restaurant with the guy puking water. And it's just this little archway right here. And that right there, yeah, that's that bridge where you can hear that cat getting mauled or whatever troll. So up next on the list, we are about to head into Hogsmeade, and there are just so many places in here that you can get away from the crowds. We're not like walking really slow for any other reason than we just want to take it all in. I mean, there is basically nobody in here.
Yeah, totally empty.
Obviously, as you can see, that was kind of a joke. I guess there's a few places that you can get away from a little bit of the crowds. But you seem to be in the way. Like, one of the places you're going to be in front of workers. Like, there's just not a good place to get away from the crowds. It's just really tight in Hogsmeade, although it has opened up quite nicely right now.
Shoo, after getting through Hogsmeade, I feel like I need a place to get away from all the people for a few minutes. Also, in the beginning of the video, I said that there was one in almost every land, but after thinking about it and after we counted, we realized that that's not true, like at all.
There's no.
there's
like maybe
one,
in half of the lands.
Yeah, there's one in like half of the lands.
And maybe two in a few of them.
So we were walking by and we saw that some people were about to play this game, and we still had the card from the last time we were down here, so game on.
Look at the form. I mean, look at the form. As soon as the bell goes, we're ready to go. Go, Anna, go, 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 go. Oh no.
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching my little dinosaur head, and when the bell rang, I thought I had won because mine was at the top, like right when it rang. But at the very beginning, I wasn't, like the gun that I had shot a little bit high, and so I had to lower it just a little bit. And so it took me a second to get going. Once you get locked onto the target, it's really easy to stay there. So somebody beat me by like literally half a second, but that was fun.
All right, no more distractions. We'll start showing y'all some of those hidden locations. As we're making our way through Jurassic World Park, whatever, Park World, whatever you want to call it, I guess it is still Jurassic Park for now. I hope that doesn't change, actually. But I digress. There's a few places that you can actually get away from the crowds over here. I know it probably doesn't seem like it with everything that's going on around us. So we would say the splash zone because it's never that busy over there.
Right.
But the place that we have in mind is actually over here where the Pteranodon Flowers is located, and it's called Camp Jurassic. When you first walk into Camp Jurassic, you're gonna be like, hey, they're a bunch of liars because there's people everywhere. But if you just keep walking back, you can get away from the crowds. Like, we're back here in this little area. It's kind of like the exit for Pteranodon Flowers.
Right.
Not that we would know. But like there's these like pressure plates on the ground that look like dinosaur footprints.
Yeah.
And every time that you step on one, it makes like a cool dinosaur noise.
Yeah.
But like, we haven't really seen anybody else since we got back here.
Yeah, and also it's very, very shaded, so this is a great place to kind of hang out for a little bit.
Show us those pressure plate moves. No, I love exploring back here. Have you ever been back in here?
No, I don't think I have, because I just assumed it was like a kiddie area and never really messed with it. I had no idea this little like misty cave existed. Apparently Tyler's been back here at some point before, but I never have. This is so cool, and it's like cool temperature wise as well. This would be a great place to get out of the heat for a minute.
I'll be honest, I'm I'm kind of upset at myself. I didn't realize I'd never brought you back here. Like I've wandered around back through here quite a bit. Like it's a great. Like
This is so cool.
No, it's like one of the best places to get out of the heat because it's like, and it's moist. Like you can feel like the moisture in here.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I am literally dumbfounded.
I had no idea. That's a first for the channel. I've never been like somewhere that you haven't been, like kind of showed you something.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna mention the caves because like that'll be for a different video, like because eventually we're gonna do a video of like where to get away from the heat.
Yeah.
And that's like a great place to get away from the heat. I can't believe you didn't know about the caves.
No, I had no idea. Like, I've never really spent time in Camp Jurassic for a couple of reasons. First of all, we don't have kids, and that's kind of like a kid play area.
Yeah.
And then I'm also salty about the fact that we can't ride the Pteranodon Fire, so anytime I walk in there, I'm just like, ooh. I knew about like the jungle gym stuff with like the ropes that you can climb on, the slide, and like the towers, but I had no idea those caves existed.
It's awesome.
Like, that's my new favorite place at the parks. Okay, now that my mind is officially blown, we still have 3 more areas that we're gonna talk about here, and none of them are in Kong because in Kong there's Kong and some hot dogs. So we're gonna make our way into Toon Lagoon. Like we said, the next place that we're gonna show you is in Toon Lagoon, but specifically it's back here by Popeyes and Bluto's. What you're gonna do is you're gonna walk across the bridge towards the water ride, and then you're just gonna keep heading straight.
Typically, if we're all the way back here, we were getting like a Wimpy's burger or a Dole Whip or our favorite, both. But today we're going back here to Me Ship the Olive.
Yes.
Not just the ship itself, because I mean it is cool, but there's just like some walking areas out around here that are a great place to get away. So everyone does love to come back here and go on Me Ship the Olive. That's so weird to say every time. I'm just gonna call it the Olive.
Yeah.
Or Olive. That's like it's like our little slang for it. That's what we've been calling it for years. You can take it if you want, but the real place that we were talking about is this area, like this little walking area, because there's nobody back here. Everybody wants to get up there and spray people, but nobody comes down here. Like it's great.
Yeah, and I think out of all of the places that we're gonna talk about today, this one is my favorite. I could spend hours back here. It's so relaxing. The lagoon views are gorgeous. There's also really good views of people that are riding Popeyes and Bluto's. You can sit there and just watch all the people get soaked, which is always fantastic. Also, they have a bunch of lights strung up, so at night those lights come on, and it's just such a nice place to hang out.
So I know we've talked about views a few times in the video, but this one is probably our favorite.
Yeah.
We talk about the one behind Mythos being our favorite a lot, but every time we come back over here, it's just like, oh, this one's way better, in our opinion. Like, you're closer to things.
Right, we just don't make it back here all that often because it is so out of the way. Like, it's kind of off the beaten trail in Toon Lagoon, and then it's all the way back behind Olive after you get back there.
See that castle back up there? Yeah, that's Hogwarts. So every once in a while, when we don't want to like deal with the Hogwarts crowds, when we watch the night show and see some of those fireworks, you can tell this is a really good vantage point. So yes, we'll share it with you. Come check this out sometime. Like I think you'll like it.
We do have one more place in Toon Lagoon that you can get away from the crowds, but it's on the exact opposite side of Toon Lagoon from where we are now, so we're gonna go show you that.
You may recognize this place because we film up here quite a bit because it is so quiet and away from everybody, but a lot of people aren't up here because we don't know what it's used for. I mean, there's like a stadium here that I'm pretty sure hasn't been used in years. Like, I'm sure the TMs and stuff utilize it for something,
right?
But I'm not sure what.
No, there hasn't been any kind of like show or anything going on here like since I started coming to the parks, but I'm sure there was a point at some time. But like Tyler said, there's literally no one back here.
Before we tell you where it's at, I do want to touch on the fact that I know there used to be a show here, but it didn't run very long. Like maybe a year or something. Like I remember, I never attended it, but I know there was a show back here.
Yeah, I know there was at some point in time. It's really interesting that they just haven't done anything with this giant stadium. But if you're looking for this place, it is between the Comic Strip Cafe and Marvel Island.
So more specifically on where this is, it's kind of in the transition between Tin Lagoon and Marvel, where the carnival games are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like if you're walking by the carnival games and you're going to Marvel, it's on your right, and then obviously, if you're going to Tin Lagoon and the carnival games are on your right, it's to your left. That's how directions work.
But we do have one more place to show you to get away from the crowds. Let's go.
I'm in Marvel, I'm in Toon Lagoon. I'm in Marvel, I'm in Toon Lagoon. So our next location is the Captain America Diner. It's not inside the diner. The food's not that bad, but it's back behind it. And there's a few ways to get there. Like you can go through the diner itself, but we'll show you the way that we like to go. There's a lot of seating back there, and once again, it is kind of close to the lagoon. So yeah, let's head there. There's Spider-Man, and the way that we like to go is like you just come back this way. And this is the diner that we were talking about. You can see Thor's hammer, maybe? You can see that up in the glass, but yeah, you just come back this way. You don't run over people because that would be bad. And all those tables and chairs that we were talking about, right back here. Like we said, most of these areas, it's sort of like over in studios. To get away from the crowd, you go to the water,
yeah.
Which is kind of strange, but there's the olive, as we like to call it, remember? The olive?
What we really love about this area is, like Tyler said, there are tables and chairs back here, and a lot of the places we've talked about, there's not really anywhere to sit, or if you do sit, it's like on some stone or something.
You gotta create your own seat.
Exactly. So here, there are those tables, which is really nice, and they're covered with ceiling fans, so it's always pretty cool back here too.
Yeah, and there is a little bonus tip that we want to mention. Like if you get back here, especially towards the back, you have access to a freestyle machine. Like it's just right inside the Captain America Cafe, and there's a door that you can get to, like right back here.
Yeah, there's actually 4 freestyle machines too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there were only 3.
Maybe 3. We'll have to go count. But like Tyler said, there is a door to get back to these. Not a lot of people know that they're back here, so they tend not to run out of ice like a lot of the machines do.
And there are some of those table and chairs like we were talking about all the way back here. And oh, Anna, oh, what is that? Is that 3? Is that 3 freestyle machines?
It is, you were right.
We hope this video was as helpful as the one over in Universal Studios to help you get away from the crowds. It is difficult to get away sometimes. Over here in Islands, it seems like you have to go further out of your way to get away. That's a lot of ways for one video, but with that, we are going to go away in this video. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know, like, what's your favorite place to get away from the crowds?
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching.